Alright, so we've been getting these developer notes for a bit. I kind of want to talk about them since we've been getting them coming out. And I kind of want to take some time and put my thoughts in on this and see where the direction this game's going. So, let's start with the first developer note that they put out. Feedback, so Clover Jewel Exchange, which is currently on right now. Super Pass, so yeah, we're getting some free stuff for DLK, Paul and Frey, yada yada. Legend costumes, which, yeah, is kind of a mixed bag. Looks like they put a limit of 30,000 sales, or they didn't even hit the 30,000 on any of the three. So, you know, that's kind of hit or miss. I think part of it's just the heroes they chose and the designs they chose are not really resonating with players. I think the Maria skin's real nice. The problem is Maria's just a really bad hero. Lucikiel skin is just controversial. It was the most bought, but I mean, it's pretty fucking trashy, in my opinion. And the Jane looks pretty decent, but she's kind of in a bad spot too. Not as bad as Maria, but she's not in a great spot either. And then we got Yan, RC, and Miru coming up as the next releases. So that'll be interesting. Yan, it's pretty not worth building because Apocalypseon's just not like, there's heroes that are doing the raid just fine and or better in one specific instance. Little raider workup. So instead we're focusing on adding more content. We've decided to focus on making improvements to the original Little Raiders content, which this gets changed in another one of these developer updates. So we'll discuss that once we get to it. Story dungeons. Second batch's Christmas costume. They cut back. Yeah, so not too much to discuss in the first one, since some of that stuff's kind of already come to fruition and or has changed since then. Second developer's note. Let's take a look. So content's received attention. So challenge-related content has received attention continuously, and content which is added to the game for growth and simple farming has been abandoned. With this direction in mind, we'll be working to create better content for Season 2. Content visual, compete for score, rework, upgrade to world boss content. Score, rework, upgrade, guild conquest. So that's, who knows what that's gonna do. PvE challenge content. Continually increase the gimmicks and difficulty level of the content for challenge raid. Problem I have here is that as of right now, the content is pretty much balanced around Gremory existing. So anyone who's not Gremory is struggling, and then Gremorys are also generally struggling in many cases. But they're the only ones that are competitive at this moment. So that's, you're doing not very good on making the content open for players while also being challenging. Divine Punishment Raid, they want to rework, continually increase the gimmicks and difficulty level of the content, which I guess they're a little disappointed that players are pretty much beating up on Divine Punishment Raid too easily now, but a lot of that just has to do with balance being released and balance being completely and utterly OP. So they kind of did it to themselves. Guild Raid rework, content which guild can challenge together. That'd be nice, but I mean, current guild rate is pretty easy. So I don't know what they're going to do if they're going to try to make it harder again. 12 constellations. 16 heroes seems a bit crazy to me because it's just going to be throwing just more and more supports into the fight. So I don't know how they're gonna do this. It says 4 teams, so I don't know if the teams are going to be separate or they're going to be buffing each other still, or what the hell they're going to do. It sounds a little ridiculous. They want to rework League of Victory, League of Honor, and League of Crowns eventually. Content which guilds compete with other guilds, strongest guild content tournament. So Guild Wars been completely and utterly neglected. They've done pretty much nothing to change that. But I mean, Guild Wars kind of shitty content to begin with. Too much of the reward comes from whether your guild wins or loses, not so much from your individual participation. And I think that's why participation in Guild Wars specifically is pretty bad. So they want to do new story content for season 2, which yeah, it's new chapter. So yeah, that's to be expected. That's not something that's surprising or kind of known. They want to do improvement to graphics, which yeah, that sounds nice. Pre-test. This is a little weird because it depends on who they have testing it, because some people's opinions on where they want the game to go or what they want heroes to be able to do, a little questionable. I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I'm certainly not, but I definitely see a lot of problems, and there's some things that are just very easy and obvious solutions that Vestige is not willing to implement for various reasons. And here's the big controversial one. They mentioned the implement of an auction system. Starting from Season 2, we'll be opening the auction system in King's Raid. Where assets have been collected in King's Raid throughout time, we're looking to implement an auction system needed to conserve and maintain these precious items. Thus, we're planning to create an auction system which most players might be familiar with. When purchasing and selling items will be available. Also, we will be supporting an auction system merge with all servers in order to maintain sufficient number of trades going back and forth between the players. New players will be able to purchase items they need through the auction system. On the other hand, players who have been playing King's Raid for a long time will be able to remove items they don't need and will have the opportunity to look for other items. Additionally, we think the system will vitalize the community as new and old players will be able to support and communicate with each other. We have to understand that auction systems in many other games, the most prime and recent-ish example would be Diablo 3, how it completely and utterly ruined the game. They did eventually get rid of it, and I'm under the impression that they made improvements and the game's in a better place. I still think it's not a good game. That's why I don't play it anymore and haven't played it in several years. Exchange will include all items, including the heroes, include all kinds of costumes, customization items, unique weapons, unique treasures, artifacts. So that's going to be interesting. Just what will players be able to sell? What's going to fetch for what kind of value, etc. So I think having some way of players being able to trade stuff like for like, let's say I'm not going to build Luisia, but I have this Luisia, so somebody is building Luisia and they want to trade it, and let's say they want to give a Rodinia that they don't plan to build, but maybe I'm planning to build a Rodinia, so I'd want a Rodinia stone. So trading like 1 for 1, I think that would generally be good, because the grind values for these are freaking terrible. You only get like 100 frags. Actually, I shouldn't say you do get 100 frags, which is just not great. And being able to trade like a soul weapon for a soul weapon seems pretty fair. Same with like unique weapons. Like we want to trade Floss, here to someone who wants to build him, and I get like a Requena or something like that. That's probably fine, but I have a feeling this is going to be more just Vespa just trying to find a way to make money, because they're not going to use gold or rubies for the type of currency. They're going to come up with some new currency. More detail on Oxy system. We'll go in more detail once we have more info. Blah 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 blah. I believe the meta of the current game, Season 1, has its own fun depth. Depth is a funny word to use for the current meta, because there is no fucking depth. But alright. Vespa likes to choose their words really funny. First of all, we have Spheres, which we had to change to remove gear constantly due to gear tier system T1 through T8 into the TM gear. Every time a new chapter, a new gear tier was added, we had our time listening to the complaints of the players. Instead of deleting the tier system, we'll be implementing a system in which players will have to strengthen their gear continuously in Season 2. Moreover, changes will be made to the gear drop system for content such as field raid, etc. It's like, okay, so they're going to make field raids a little easier to farm, which is fine. It should have been buffed again before. Yeah. Rework on the gear system will be proceeded, so they're probably going to do the whole dragon thing where DL gear now just has like the set stat lines, so you don't get like the wild lines like offensive stats on defensive pieces, etc. Get rid of like the crit resist and other stats that here players just generally don't build. Sell parts current one system that will move on to the next season as more current gear system will be discussing and making additional changes to plans and provide more details about these changes through development once fixes are made to our plans. The moment we're being extra careful to think of the way we transition Season 1's TM gear into Season 2's gear system. So we're going to have completely new gear system, so TM gear is on a ticking time bomb now. We know that it's going to be obsolete. Which is interesting because TM was designed to be quote-unquote in-game, long-term gear, but the thing is, people are building it really easily now. Besides the tier system, options are also one of our top concerns when modifying the game's meta. Currently, too many of the multiplication operations are accumulated in the options, causing hyperinflation of the damage within the game. No shit. Which is why we kept telling you, stop doing non-hero as your balance to the game. Because non-hero is a multiplier, and it multiplies the damage exponentially as you throw more and more non-hero damage in. Continuous additions of OP heroes, balance the dungeon. Yeah, OP heroes, balance. Which is weird because they spelled it balance here instead of valence. Haha. Adjustments for old heroes, such sudden increased difficulty level of the game, and additional measures taken to balance content, etc., are factors that have caused hyperinflation in many different ways. When Season 2 open, new and returning players will come to play the game, and this is where we will be encountering different kinds of issues. If we don't deal with the issue encountered with hyperinflation, we believe that we won't be able to provide a game environment that can satisfy all players at once. Yeah, you need to tighten the damage between lower and higher end players. Therefore, we'll be decreasing the spectrum of overall performance of the heroes. This time we'll be trying to approach this with an upward system. In other words, if the stats of our heroes are 1 to 100 currently, planning to push up players with the lower stats up to about 50 to 100 or 70 to 100. Damage gap due to the high stats of top users will be arranged within a range that can be recognized. So again, this kind of goes with the idea. They're trying to tighten the damage between veteran and or whale players with newer players. Which is fine. I don't think there's inherently a problem with that. Just depends on how they do it. But yeah, like the damage gap between like the highest in investment versus like mid-tier versus low tier is fucking night and day. Like, it's not even fucking close. So that's really ridiculous. This game's really out of whack. Difficulty level of content season 1 will be adjusted from levels 1 to 100 to level 90 to 100. So basically, season 1's just going to be neutered into just a 10 level gap. So basically, the levels aren't going anywhere. Which is weird, because really they should just do a level reset, honestly. Just put everyone back at level 1 with their stats at level 100 they are currently now. And then make us level to 100 again with, different EXP curve or whatever the hell they want to do. All new heroes that are obtained will be level 95 star. Limited hero level shown according to the trend. Senate stage will be removed. Season 2 content will start from level 90. Chapters of Season 1 you'll be able to level heroes up to level 100. In Chapter Season 2 you'll be able to level heroes to 200. Now this is interesting because if you're doing Season 1 content for EXP, like if you were to go to the last stage and try to farm this for EXP, this is apparently only going to get you to 100, and then the EXP will not go past level 100. And I have a feeling this is going to apply to potions too, like the current potions we have in the game. Plan for this, I'm saving potions just in case, but I have a feeling that this is going to be capped to where these only work until you're level 100. Once you're level 100, these potions will no longer work. If that's the case, these are just worth gold, which, I mean, that's kind of what they've been worth for, a couple of years now. Performance, heroes and gear that used to be 2080, so what they're implying here is that the heroes 20% of the output and 80% of their power output is from their gear. I actually disagree with this number. I think the number is actually closer to 5 to 95, where 95% of your power is gear, not your hero. That's my opinion. So their numbers are kind of funny. They're literally just pulling numbers out of their ass. I doubt they've actually done like an actual analysis to figure out what the power difference is, whether it's gear or hero. Making adjustments to make it about 40-60. So they want to make the hero by themselves more central to their overall power output and not so much from the gear, which I'm actually okay with, because you want to encourage people to build other heroes, and if they have to sit there and re-gear everything just to be competitive, it's a lot of investment. But if they can just take a hero, slap some, at least some decent-ish gear and get some results out of it, I think that's generally a good change in my opinion. Yeah, if they want to get the top scoring in, yes, they're going to have to invest in it, but at least they can have the hero be functional. Right now we're in a state where the hero is basically unfunctional unless it's 10-star A220. So until the character is at that investment, basically not worth using, which is a bit of a problem. Number of percent options will be reduced, and change will be made so that fixed damage or fixed defense are applied. So what they're applying here is like our percent attack increases or percent defense increases are going to go away. It's just going to be a flat number, like plus 20,000 attack or plus 30,000 attack, etc. That's going to completely change the damage formula entirely. We'll see. It's a lot to try to change the numbers of the game and make it work, and Vespa has a track record of not understanding numbers, so this worries me, and I have a feeling they're going to fuck this up. We'll see, I guess. Maybe they'll surprise me. I don't think they will. We'll be making big changes to the damage in Season 1, or will not be making big changes to damage in Season 1. So Season 1's just going to keep using the same stat mechanics, which that's confusing. Why are you going to use two different stat systems in the game? For Season 2, damage will be limited up to a max of 6 digits, excluding damage proportional to HP. Now this is a little confusing here. So damage that's proportional to HP will be able to exceed the 6 damage limit, so our heroes that are going to have percent of HP damage to an enemy going to be like the fucking god tier of heroes? Because that's going to be fucking weird. I'm not sure how many heroes have that currently. I know Haley has, but I think hers is only an arena from a Transcendence perk. Yeah, upon hitting an enemy in arena, Taylor deals additional P damage equal to 2% of the target's max HP. So inflict a critical hit, but its damage increases proportional to defense pen. So that's only in arena. I mean, 6 digits in arena. So I mean, if we're still gonna have like these inflated HP stats where like even DPS are having like, you know, 10 million, 20 million HP. Yeah, being limited to 6 damage just means it's going to be really hard to kill people in arena, but then we're going to have people doing damage proportional to HP? Is that what the new heroes are going to have that's going to make them instantly fucking meta? Which is contradictory to what they said earlier about not wanting to release... Oh wait, no, they haven't said this yet, so we'll get to it, but they don't want to release OP heroes anymore. But if the new heroes are going to have this proportional of max HP damage, they're going to be instantly meta compared to all these heroes that don't have it. I actually don't know any other heroes that have damage that's proportional to enemy HP. I know there's characters that are, you can do Crosspunk, but that's percent of your HP. So I don't know if that's going to be included in that. I don't think it's going to be, but if it does, then maybe Cross Pumpkin users will actually have a comeback. Because they're dead as fuck right now in arena. Like, nobody's using HP damage decks anymore. We'll be separating the attributes from target damage and wide area damage. We'll be adjusting the adding the resistance to wide area damage. So AoE damage, there'll be a stat of some sort to reduce AoE damage. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's just that's interesting, I guess. This might be a way for them to make knights relevant, is just make enemies deal tons of wide area damage, and knights have a ability that gives resistance to the team for wide area damage. That's going to be the only way to force knights back into meta again. But that means they have to also make sure that enemies deal enough damage to actually be a threat, which they've kind of sort of failed to do, except for to the tanks. So we'll see. Sufficient tests, implement the feedback of our players. I don't know, so this is where that test realm comes in. So they're going to be testing only with a few select players to get an idea of how that's going to be. So it's going to be quote unquote up to those players and or just Vespa entirely, because who knows if they're actually going to listen to those people. We'll always be open for good opinions and feedback. We won't hesitate to implement it into our game. See, this is a thing that gets me. It won't be hesitant to implement in our game. So, like, good opinions and feedback. They've gotten a ton of good opinions and feedback that they've never refused or just won't add to the game. So, I will hold my... No, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'll fucking die. Even account differences in between our opinions and our players, we'll continue to try our best to come to an agreement which we can satisfy both sides. Even though we're the developers of this game, we've always surprised at how our players are cleverer and keen than our team in many different ways. So this is something that a lot of game developers need to learn, is your player base... How do I word this? There are members in the player base that will be significant just due to the size, just because there's way more players than developers. Just numerical probability is that someone or a group of people will be smarter than your developers at understanding your game, the numbers and the mechanics of the game. So there's no avoiding that. Like, that's something that's going to happen in every game. So you have to realize that these players are going to figure things out, and they're going to abuse your systems, etc., as we have been. And then people figure out those players that know what they're doing, understand the numbers, and they latch on, copy, mimic, and then it snowballs into, defining how the game's played. Hero battle adjustments. So this is going to be a fun discussion. Season 2, there won't be OP heroes. Fucking doubt? Remember, Balance was released, according to Vespa, as a all-rounder support. If you're aware of what Balance does, she's literally broken the fucking game in two. That's Vespa's current opinion of an all-rounder. So them saying they're not going to release OP heroes, it depends on what they think is an OP hero. Have they acknowledged that Balance is OP? Have they acknowledged that Gremory is OP? No, they haven't. So they need to be clear on what they're defining as OP heroes. Moreover, we'll be working on balance adjustment for various heroes after release of an OP hero, and we will make sure to avoid the gradual increase of our hero stats. However, looking at the game balance on the PvP content, heroes' performance will be similar in overall. Instead, we plan to specialize the usability of heroes for different content. Simple words, players will have better advantages by strengthening a wide number of heroes. So heroes are going to be more focused on specific content, which is fine. Considering the large number of heroes, you can't make them all viable. So making them have at least a niche, somewhere they're good, at least worth using, is important. And that's where a lot of the balance adjustments should have been done, but weren't. Instead, we get heroes like Balance that's basically fucking good everywhere. And Gremory that's good everywhere. So they're gonna have a lot to fucking tackle if they're gonna actually fucking live by these words. Improvements will be made as well to add specialized factors to each of the classes. For classes such as tanks, healers, and dealers, we're planning to add different options per class to give them clear and specific goals. If you look at the system based on only one hero, it's clear that there's less freedom in setting up a team. Yeah, because it's just tank, DPS, and then a shit ton of priest and or supports. Or as things have been moving on, drop the fucking tank, just run DPS and 7 fucking supports. Do maximum damage, because that's all that fucking matters. So again, yeah, there's not a lot of freedom because there's only like a handful of heroes that are literally just fucking good everywhere, so you have to use like heroes that are good everywhere. So yeah, there's not a lot of freedom in choosing your hero party or having any kind of effectiveness with the setup or approaching a fight with a different strategy than normal. There's like no alternative strat to World Boss that suddenly makes you do more damage than the current setups, because it just doesn't exist. Options for each of these classes will be related deeply with the gear system. So the Season 2 gear system will provide more details of these options as we introduce a new gear system later on. So this might be where these are finally coming in. Maybe. We'll see. These lock transcendence perks. So maybe there'll be something there that's related to the new gear. Soul Weapon Power Gels. Start of the topic, Soul Weapon. We'd like to inform you of the value of the Soul Weapons you obtained through Season 1, Trial of the God King, will remain similar in Season 2. In Season 2, will be introduced a new gear called Power Control Constellations, tentative name, which will be relevant to Season 1 Soul Weapons. Season 2 heroes won't be able to obtain Soul Weapons from Season 1, but Season 1 heroes will be able to obtain both Soul Weapon and Power 12 Constellations. So the new heroes are forced to build these, which means they're going to have to be good to compare with Season 1 Soul Weapon. Season 1 heroes will be able to use either soul weapon or power, so you won't be able to use both at the same time, so we'll see how that goes. However, we'll take some time to develop 12 power of the 12 constellations. All heroes in Season 1, like to ask you understanding regarding this matter, make sure. So it's going to be staggered release like soul weapon, which, since everyone currently has soul weapon and soul weapon's interchangeable, it won't be as bad as the soul weapon release being staggered out, because a lot of heroes were fucking screwed up the ass by not getting their soul weapon until way later releases. Why some heroes got it right away, like heroes what was it, Laudia and Cecilia getting their soul weapons right away because World Boss, and then Urza getting hers. I think she got hers kind of early, and then heroes like Celine didn't get hers until like one of the last batches, like third to last or something like that. Now, granted, Celine got a good soul weapon, which was great, but you know, she had to wait like, what was it, like 4 or 5 months before she got hers. That's fucking terrible. Been a long time. Removal of several. So this is the part where this is where a lot of my video here is meant to talk about, is this removal of content. Because a lot of people are praising this. I think this is a terrible fucking thing, and I'm absolutely bewildered that the community's happy about some of this. So, planning to delete some of the content which players use some time, which are not necessary anymore. So Tower Challenge, Tower of Ordeals, Underground Labyrinth. These tower-related contents become content which you obtain rewards regularly. They become homework-like content after clearing them once. To investing our efforts in maintaining these content, we will be focusing them on content like Challenge Rate or Divine Punishment Rate, and we'll be reworking these content continuously. As for the rewards we could obtain through these old content, we'll be distributing them through other contents in the game. So there's a couple problems here. So Tower Challenge is by far the primary source of artifact fragments. There's another source, and that's going to be mentioned here in a bit, but that's one of the big sources of artifact frags. So basically earning artifacts is going to become harder. They're saying they're going to move it into other content, but what other content are they going to move it into? They don't even say. Tower Ordeals, which is just upgrading heroes, which, I mean, if you played the game for like a year, you have like 1 million of these fucking Fragment of Infinity, Stone, like, and these are the heroes I have left to star up that I'm just hanging on to. It's just they get, and I have more than enough resources, so it's like I'm not even gated by this. This is like literally fucking useless to me. And I get newer players kind of need it, but it's not that much of a gate, especially since they get like, what, 8 Infinity Stones a week from Tower of Ordeals right now, so it's like 2 weeks to T5 a hero. I don't even think they recruit heroes in 2 weeks, so they can T5 every hero as they get them, basically. It's Underground Labyrinths. This one's so this is where we get like random UTs. So what, are we just gonna get random UTs as like drops in other content from what, challenge? I mean, we get a few, but like, what, are you gonna increase the rewards? And then daily and weekly. Currently for the Tower Challenge, like, let's look at the daily and weeklies. So it's like, okay, so we're gonna. This is basically gonna be removed. Send friendship points. Okay, so that one stays. Stockade Vault gone, which there goes Ruby Flask. Are we gonna add Ruby Flask in another place? Or are you gonna fucking take those away from us again? Because like when you took away Chapter Conquest. So I got bad feelings about this. This is something we've gone through before. Heroes Inn's going away, so there goes Roulette. So that daily's out. Little Raiders are being removed. That daily's out, so we're gonna get less potions, less Amity. We're gonna get less artifact frags. We're not gonna get Ruby Flask anymore. Dragon Raid's also being removed, so I mean, I don't even do this, so who cares? For weekly stuff, let's see. So right now, to get the skip tickets, you have to do Tower Challenge. So that's gonna be moved to something else, or are we just not gonna get skip tickets anymore for free? Is that what you're gonna do? More Ruby Flask are gone. More Artifact Frags are gone. More Amity is gone. No more free egg tickets. So, like, a good chunk of the dailies and weeklies are just going to be fucking gone. And there's nothing to replace the rewards that we get from them. They say they're going to distribute through other content. I'd have to see. Are we still going to get, 8 random UTs a month? Are we going to still get, 4 to 5,000 artifact rags a week, etc. Let's look at the login. So, like the normal login board, like how much of the stuff so heroes are going to be automatically T5 going forward, so this is basically fucking useless. We don't need that anymore. These won't be fucking needed, so that's 5 fucking things that need to be removed from the list. These are going to kind of be dead in the water because fucking soul weapons is being replaced. So that's 2 more fucking useless things. I guess unique treasure and unique weapons will still be useful, supposedly. Little Raider is one of our top comments in which we received constant feedback. We received feedback such as unnecessary content does not have any connection with content King's Raid. Or content, we understand that most of the feedback, negative feedback of our... Thank you for finally acknowledging that most of the feedback you got is negative. Stop saying you're just getting feedback or comments. Like, actually say, like, hey, yes, the players are complaining about this, or the players are positive about... You can be directional. You don't have to sit there and try to weasel word it, say, oh, we're just getting feedback, and some of our players like, no, nobody fucking likes Little Raiders. Shit was fucking garbage when it came out. Most importantly, we also know that it is our role to compensate the time and money of our players invested in the Little Raiders. As a matter, we're discussing ways we can separate the Little Raiders and imprinted stats. And this comes up in one of the last developer notes, so we'll talk about that more when we get there. Making them into exchangeable items. We believe that the Little Raiders have the appropriate appearance as pets within King's Raid. Do they? Do they really? Like, a lot of it's like world bosses just chibified. That fits in with King's Raid's, medieval fantasy world. Is to have Vel'Kozar, this fucking demon, as this... Yeah, no, Vespa, you're being stupid. Stop. Visually pleasing, like customization items, implement effects. As a system where players will be able to manage different effects, the system will allow the players to store and conserve the imprinted effects in marbles. Additionally, we'll also be planning to make these 2 factors into exchangeable items. Which, this is kind of contradicted by something else said later, so it's one of those things, there's not a lot of consistency here, because they kind of been flip-flopping. Like, the previous thing they said they wanted to add more content in Little Raiders. Now they're saying there's a lot of negative feedback. And then, yeah, here, this was the big one. So, therefore, we've decided to delete the content related to Little Raiders. So the Little Raiders are technically staying in, but this entire Little Raiders house, all this incubator treats, all this shit, this is all going away. Also means this is going away. Now, I did a previous video on the rewards from this being not very good, but they're also, by removing this, like, are these rewards being moved out somewhere else? Are we going to get extra soul frags and soul weapon shards? Are we going to get extra TM reports and boss crystals, extra random unique weapon UT frags? Are we? I don't know. Vespa hasn't said. Nobody said. So we're just losing rewards. We're losing Tower Challenge, we're losing Tower Ordeals, we're losing Underground Lab, we're losing the Little Raider Guest, we're losing Dragon Raids. Summon with Gold. Yeah, Dragon Raid, it's data content. I'm not going to talk about that one too much. This is one kind of annoying. So, Summoning with Gold. Different than what we were planning in the first place, content for Summoning with Gold has become meaningless within the game. This isn't actually true. And I think Vespa's actually being a little deceptive here. So, I've done 756,573 fucking blue summons since I've been playing this game. And I have a ton of numbers on blue summons. It should be under my gold farm here. Here we go. This is all the data I've collected on blue summoning and how to effectively turn gold into free stamina items, free artifact pieces. Magic powder, when it was still relevant, now you just sell the magic powder for gold as well, which further offsets the gold costs, therefore making it more efficient to get stamina and artifact pieces now. This is actually one of the best sources of artifact pieces. You convert, let's see, we don't get double grind events anymore, so that shit's whatever. Because literally we don't get that event anymore. So yeah, that's why I have this darkened, because this doesn't happen anymore. So you have to sell gear. Excuse me. So you can turn 100,000 or 113,000 gold into an artifact. While doing that 113,000, you get a shit ton of stamina. Because every 100,000 gold you effectively spend, not per blue summon, but effective spend. So after you sell back, you get about approximately 13 stamina. So, just doing the numbers real quick. So 113,289 2 divided by 100,000 times 13.4. So you get one random artifact and almost 15,000 stamina. Now that's a lot of blue pulls, but it's also like not that much gold considering how much we get. You can do that effectively every single day. You could get a random artifact every day from abusing blue summons, just from the gold you get from Stockade. Did you get nearly 100,000? Actually, did you get more than 100,000? Hold on, how much do we get from Stockade right now? I thought I had some numbers on Stockade. Where is it? I may have deleted it at some point. Or moved it somewhere else. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, Gold Stockade is like gives you quite a bit of gold. Like you can get nearly 100,000 gold just from that blue Stockade every day. So you can get like, you know, a free random artifact and nearly 15,000 stamina every single day just from abusing blue summons. So this is why I think they're being deceptive on this. Whoops. This is why I think they're being deceptive on this. I think what they're trying to do is because the gold earning has increased so much, and because they've tried draining gold by making these other things extremely high cost. But then the blowback is when they make things expensive, they have to increase the gold because players complain. And they've actually made it so blue summons are ridiculously effective. It's an extremely effective way of turning gold into artifacts and stamina. And if you have high enough gold bonus, and I think this is the real fucking dangerous thing, and I think this is why they're removing it. Not because they think it's useless, but because they think it's abusable, because it is. if you have high enough gold bonus from your costumes, it is possible to farm this stage at ridiculous speed, earn enough gold to do blue summons, and from those blue summons get enough stamina items to run this stage again to negate the cost. And with just your regen stamina over time, you can effectively farm infinitely, 24/7, turning your gold into stamina, turning that stamina into runs for more gold, and then using that gold for blue summons. And the gold and stamina will effectively balance out, and you're just getting free artifact pieces 24/7. And I'm at the rate you would farm, I think it would be about 3 random artifacts a day. And I think they're wanting to remove it because people are abusing it. There are players that are doing this. And I think Vespa wants to control the acquisition of artifacts more deeply. Now, granted, a lot of the artifacts that come from Tower Challenge have lost a lot of their usefulness. In fact, most of them are fucking borderline useless right now. There are some that are still extremely good, though, like Soul Spring Water, Morphring is still valuable. Let's see. Yeah, Pocket Watch is still good. Ancient King Mask is still good. Soul Spring Water, as mentioned. Light Bracelet can be useful in some instances. Solar Stone is extremely fucking important. Book of the Mad is fucking dead. Hybrid Animals is still really good, but it's lost some of its usefulness since the introduction of some newer artifacts that's much easier to obtain. Yeah, but I mean, there's still a couple that are really good in there. Feather of Sacrifice is another good one. And of course, Mask for challenge raids. Unless they want to start giving challenge or masks for each of the challenge raids, so players can make progress during each challenge raid towards being stronger at it when the next time it comes up. Just an idea, Vespa. Something you could have done a long time ago. Anyways, so yeah, I don't think this is them acknowledging that the content is meaningless. I think they're acknowledging that the content is actually abusable, and they don't want players to know it's abusable. So here I am in this video letting you know, if you have high enough gold bonus, you can farm infinitely for artifacts right now by using blue summons in the final farming stage. Have fun, kids. Hall of Heroes being removed, yeah, because they're basically going to get rid of fucking Transcending Heroes, basically. Delete the system, the scene, the context, excluding scenes of hero acquisition, crafting items. I was planning to delete the content of crafting items we've found any special important content. Add a function in which you will be able to change the items you need to change immediately from your inventory. So basically what they want to do here is, instead of going your artifact or unique weapon frags, it's like, oh, I got 1,000, then you have to go over to the craft tab, click other, and then craft it. You'll be able to just click on the unique weapon frags and then click to instantly turn 1,000 into a unique weapon frag or a unique weapon ticket, etc. They'd have the craft button on some of these items, but not all of them. They're just shortcuts. They're just basically going to remove the extra clicks, which is good. This is what this game needs: is remove the excessive amount of clicks this game requires. It is a good change. The other thing I would suggest is going to Heroes In, and this is something that should have been done a while ago. And like when they added the gold powder to Jin Shop, so that way we had a source of gold powder to do our NPC crafting items. But it's like, the only way to effectively get these is through the shop. So it's like, why do I have to pay this, then go to a Jin Shop, buy gold dust, then go to the crafting menu, scroll all the way down, and then click to craft to get these? Why can't I just immediately turn this Amity into The NPC, like, why isn't they just purchasing the final NPC gift? That should have been a change done a long time ago. But they're also removing Heroes Inn, so where's the shop going? Like, is Judah just gonna be on the street with her shop selling fucking food and NPC gifts now? She's just gonna be a fucking hobo on the street? Because yeah, they're removing Heroes Inn. So delete from the game. Most of the players use content to obtain the rewards from the roulette. Again, this is another thing they're removing that has resources over time. So we got the roulette. This actually kicks out like reforged tickets, unique weapon frag, UT frags, the friendship points for gifts. Those are pretty common. This is fucking useless. Why does this have a high percentage rate? This is fucking useless. Why does this have a high percentage rate? Get that shit off my board. And this never fucking drops anyway, so who gives a shit? Because I got like... Hold on. I had this recorded. Look at 1,883 spins and still haven't seen that fucking ticket. Quote unquote 1% chance. Which, by the way, if I did get one right now, I'd be hovering around a 0.0. Oh, let's expand this out. Be a 0.5. So not even half of what the stated drop rate that Vespa said it is. So yeah, that shit doesn't drop. But yeah, we'll lose those. When you come into the inn for the first time, any heroes that you have with max affinity, they give you gifts, and that actually gives you quite a bit of stuff over time. So again, they're saying they're removing this. Are we going to get those rewards elsewhere? Are we going to have a better source of unique weapon UT frags that are going to help offset that? Are you going to buff Devour? What the fuck are you doing? Like, what I'm reading from a lot of this is we're removing your free sources of resources is what I'm reading from a lot of this. You're losing your Heroes Inn, which is a huge source or a significant source of unique weapon UT frags, reforges, friendship gifts towards getting NPC unique weapons. All gone. So they're just going to remove it. So also think it's been a stress and enjoyment to interact with heroes, to recruit them. Instead, we've thought it would be better for players to build up the kinship rate of their heroes by using them in the game. This is confusing here. Like, you can't use a hero you don't have, but you're going to use the hero to get the kinship rate up? I mean, are they referring to the max affinity? Like, once you own a hero getting the max, but like, how are you going to recruit them now? Might look forward to these new changes. So, I mean, yeah, they're being a little open, but they're not really being open because they're not actually disclosing a lot of details of what they're trying to do. Like I said, the blue summon, they're trying to actually remove an exploitable function that's in the game right now, where you can abuse blue summons to farm artifacts basically infinitely for free. And then removing Heroes Inn and the pet gifts, like that's just a chunk of your rewards every week. Just gone. Removing Tower Challenge and Underground Lab. That's monthly sources, but that's monthly resources just being removed. Oh, we're gonna move it to other content. Okay, well, what other content are we going to move it to? Are we going to get comparable amounts? Are we going to get more? Are we going to get less? Because that's happened before. So they're not really being honest about what they're doing here in all the ways. So I would caution players to really think about what Vespa's saying here. Alright, so that was part 2. There's a letter from Jen. Apology. So this is a big problem. So they've been apologizing for like, what, the last 3 fucking years straight? Can we get a year where you guys aren't complete fuck-ups and you have to apologize at the end of the year? Can you just have like one good year of not being a fuck-up? Can you try that? just not being a fuck up for a year. It's a new year, so try to start it out. You got a update coming in 2 weeks where pretty much the only thing you've announced so far is that you're removing Little Raiders from it. So that's great. We're losing Little Raiders. So the next update is literally removing content, not adding content. So that's a good start to having a not a fuck up year. I guess it is removing Little Raiders, which does make people happy because Little Raiders are crap, but we'll get to some of the prompts that come from that later. Improvement to Guild Conquest, Vel'Koz lagging, crashing issues. First of all, I apologize not being able to fix this issue for a long period of time. Again, apologies don't mean shit. You can apologize till you're fucking blue in the face, but if players keep fucking leaving because you're not fixing the problem, it doesn't matter how much you fucking apologize for. And anyone who takes your apologies seriously is a fucking fool. I don't think you're fucking sorry. Because if you were, you would have done something to try to fucking fix it by now. Playing just excessive rendering any battle for battle logics of the game. Possibly would like to fix the issue accurately at once. However, we'll be making improvements to this issue continuously. We'll be trying to communicate about fixes throughout time. Firstly, we'll be working to update quickly as we encounter technical issues during optimization. You've done no optimization in the game for at least 2 years. Close to 3. Because since we've literally been having non-stop crashing issues since Chapter 9. I can't go a day without crashing multiple times. Hell, I can't even go most hours without crashing multiple times. An hour. Your game is not optimized. And if Google or Apple had any fucking standards on apps on their store, your game would be removed for being completely and utterly dysfunctional. Being an improperly functioning app. If those companies had any standard. But they don't. So you're lucky on that one. Last update, we've worked on an update to nullify the battle when crashing issue occurred during Guild Conquest content. Only when it happens like really early in the fight. So like I had a GC fight just a while ago where it crashed me with only a minute left, which of course is when you scored the highest amount of points in the run. So the run's basically fucked. And we don't get a do-over. So yeah, that's great. It only catches the people that crash immediately. You've done really good on fixing where people don't crash immediately, but now people are crashing all the time in the middle or late in the fight now. So you made something that was supposed to help, and it's not helping. So you make the fucking... Can we just have fucking 5 minutes of not crashing the goddamn fight? However, we're aware the content still needs additional updates. No shit! Furthermore, we'll make sure to make improvements to the lagging crashing issue, not only for Guild Conquest, but the overall content. I don't fucking believe you. We've been crashing since Chapter 9 and you've done nothing. Guild Conquest was a long time ago. No big updates besides the rewards. No shit. Why haven't you added new Guild Conquest bosses at any point? You just kept changing numbers on it. The rewards are still shit. Have you seen what those fucking boxes kick out? They're fucking garbage. That really encourages participation. Yep, there we go. Fucking crash. Just trying to open my inventory. Again, like I said, you've done nothing to improve the crashing issue. This is a fresh install, by the way. Literally installed 6 days ago. Alright. Unequal hero costume updates. Yeah, you have problem. Like, I'm not a big costume person, so I'm not... I get a lot of people are, but like I'm kind of indifferent. Most of my heroes are using just regular costumes. The costumes I kind of like are like League of Honor and like sub-story costumes. Something that actually fits the character and is not like dramatically different the way they present themselves. Well, considering releasing legend costumes from popular heroes. Well, based on the sales of that last legendary costume thing, I have a feeling you're gonna fucking backtrack on this, because when you see a fucking Dockerus sell fucking 150 fucking legend costumes, I don't think you're gonna stick to it. Because fucking no. Well, I mean, some people might buy it. Who knows? Maybe you'll surprise people. Put out something that actually looks really cool, and people buy. I don't. No. Heroes that are like you're gonna put out something for Philip that's gonna sell like 10,000 costumes. I doubt it. It's not gonna happen. This is nice that you're saying this, but I don't believe you. Hero balance adjustments. We also announced through our previous development we will not be releasing OP heroes anymore from now on. Got to the conclusion that continuous updates of the hero OP updates of OP heroes are destroying the current balance of the system of the game. No shit. Stop using non-hero damage as a fucking crutch. You have to fix the core problems of the heroes. Fuck. You guys went a whole fucking year doing this. And only now are you fucking figuring it out. This is fucking terrible. Not to mention, like, some of the heroes you updated are literally fucking useless now. Are people using Jane anymore? What about Asilica? What about Klaus? I guess Klaus still kind of used for some stuff, but all the knights are fucking dead because fucking Valance. You can just gear up a Valance enough that Valance will fucking tank for you and give you more damage. Glenwise has seen more use because the damage numbers have inflated so much that we can now speedrun fucking DM9 stages in under 20 seconds. So, you know, Glenwise is popular again. So, that's one tank that's useful. So yeah, I mean, other than a couple select PvP tanks, and let's be honest, the select PvP tanks is Dosarda, Loman, and Shakme. All other tanks in PvP are fucking useless. So yeah, you've done really terrible with the balance update. Gremory is completely and utterly OP, and is invalidated. Like all the other characters that have been getting updates. Like you updated Yan, and Gremory is still better than Yan at Apocalypsion right now because of Balance's release. Before that, Gremory was struggling, but she could still do it. She was also still the first magic DPS to do it, I believe. So. But other heroes that got updates like Talisha, who's still not in a great spot and really only useful in Eclipse. Saria, who's still just a PvP whore. Has no PvE relevance whatsoever, even though some people try to claim she's a good all-rounder. She's not really. Scarlet is broken in PvP. Yeah, who else even got updates that are even worth mentioning? Elias, whose pretty much sole update purpose was just to get her into a position to be useful for Apocalypsion, so I guess she's a success for being good in one content. Also just being an asshole in Arena, making sure that Magic DPS get a counter pick in Arena, but Physical has no equal equivalent. Lavrel's update made her relevant for now, but she, could just very easily fall out. Shea got update. She was one of the ones that got the big updates this year, and where's she now? She's pretty much out on everything except like Apocalypsion and World Boss 2. So yeah, you updated her, but like she's losing her position already because again, we have just better supports. We have Estelle, we have Veronica, we have Valance. There's only so much room for support, so guess with whichever support has the lowest non-hero damage or offers the least damaging buffs, guess which one's the first one out. Bye, Shea. So she's on her way out again. Net got her buff, so she's relevant for a bit. But that's the thing, is a lot of the ones that were updated early, with the exception of Gremory, are pretty much useless. Castle's good in PvE. I hear he's losing some use in PvP, but I don't fully know that. I don't use him. Who else got fucking buffs? It's a whole lot of fucking nobody. You know, where was the buff for the heroes that really fucking needed it? Where was the buff for fucking Epis? Where was the buff for Maria, who just got a fucking legend costume? Where's the buff for Aisha to make her, you know, not a fucking meme hero? Where's the buff for Plus so he's not a fucking joke? He got buffed just back in 2020. He's fucking irrelevant already. Where's the buff for Luisia? Where's the buff for fucking Theo? Who probably gets out damaged by fucking Jane. Where's the buff for Severe, man? The one GC3 DPS who didn't get a fucking buff. So he's fucking irrelevant. And he's also not used in PvP anymore for the most part. So literally a fucking dead hero. Where's his fucking buff? Nah, we're gonna buff Lavril, who's still, you know, decently relevant. Some of your updates were very fucking questionable, and it seemed like you were more trying to maintain a meta than actually change it. Alright. God damn. Alright. At the moment, only a few heroes are being used in PvE content. Again, this is where you made supports too strong and made them too viable in all content because you're just trying to get the most damage out. First, we'll be implementing improvements that can allow players to use different heroes within the content. We'll also be improving the roles of each class. As a result, we are aiming for the improvement of the overall balance of heroes. Additionally, we will be improving the heroes to make sure they're used widely in the arena content. So they want to try to make all heroes at least somewhat usable in PvP. Good luck with that. I don't know how Esker or Meech are going to be PvP relevant in any way, but alright. To make the right improvements to the game, we will not be improving each of the heroes. So they're going to stop doing those hero buffs. So those buffs every... lately it's been every other month because they keep skipping months. We didn't get anyone buffed in, what was it, October and December? Yeah, we didn't get anyone in October or December, and then, October to December, and then August it was just, September, it was just Yan, so we only got one hero in that month. So they're just going to stop balancing heroes now. We're not going to do the batch of heroes getting buffs anymore. Because they were just using non-hero damage and not actually fixing the problems. So this is kind of good, but they don't mention what the fuck they're actually going to do. And instead we'll be fixing the balance of fixing the battle system. How? What changes to the battle system are you going to make that's going to make some of these heroes with scaling numbers or just bad skills relevant? Because any changes that are going to negatively impact, say, Gremory, is going to negatively impact Aisha even more, or impact Arch even more than it would affect Gremory. So that's not going to improve the balance. You're just going to fucking make things worse for the heroes that are shit. Unless you got some real fucking radical changes you're going to fucking pull out of your ass, but you're not giving us any details of what you are fucking planning to do. Now here's the interesting one. If we really need to nerf the heroes, they will be used as one of our last methods. Now, they've said this before, that they're not going to nerf heroes unless they really have to, and they did with Shakbei. And this shows that Vespa doesn't understand their fucking numbers or how their fucking content works. So, you can't really see it right now, because this number got fucking gutted. This used to be the single hardest hitting defense ignore attack in the game. And it was given to a tank. Now, I'm sure in Vespa's head they thought, well, he's a knight. Surely no one's going to build a tack stat and try to take advantage of it. We gave it a high scaling number so it at least be usable while he's wearing tank stats. Oops. people built Shackmate with full fucking attack, and they were one-shotting everybody in Arena. Because he had the single strongest defense-ignoring attack in the game. Let's see. Spell negative effects from self, and consume all Dark Spirit stacks to increase all allies' attack power. So it already has a self-cleanse built into it, so it's completely unstoppable. So you can't even like CC him out of it or counter it in any way. So it's basically like Scarlet's S2 on fucking crack because it fucking defense ignores. Oh, and you can dispel effects from allies as well. So yeah, that's great. Oh, and you had a perk that increased the damage even more, on top of being the strongest single hitting def ignore attack in the entire game. And then inflicts stun for 3 seconds, increase P damage. Target takes by 20% plus 1% for Dark Spirit. So it applied amp as well. Damage skill increased by 10% per Dark Spirit stack. Target is not a hero. Damage boost is increased by ×2. This was kind of, I guess, to make it relevant in PvE, so that doesn't really do much for PvP. Now here's the problem though. Apparently the skill was bugged at release, and apparently, from my understanding, from what I've heard, it is still bugged because this was never fixed, and it's why they quote-unquote fixed it the way they did. The non-hero damage boost is applying in Arena, which is why they gutted the damage numbers, because Vespa is so fucking stupid with their programming that they can't actually make a non-hero damage effect actually only affect non-heroes. Because their coding is so bad that this skill actually does work on heroes in Arena. So the only way they could easily fix it without having to spend probably hundreds of man hours, because their code is so fucked, they just gutted the damage number, because that was the only way to do it easily. So now the skill's fucking useless to build, and that's why they gave us all these Shackmate transfer tickets that we've been sitting on for fucking ever. Alright, so that's why that's there. So they have nerfed a hero before, but he's the one and only example, and it's because literally right when he came out, people built him into a DPS and they were destroying Arena. And that's the only reason they did it. Now when Gremory is destroying all PvE content, no fucking nerfs there. But Gremory destroying all PvP Shackmate coming in and just wrecking everybody's shit in Arena, then they're like, oh shit, we need to do something now. They didn't do jack shit to fucking Valence. She came out broken as fuck. No nerfs there. Only Shackmate, and only when it affected Arena, because the big spenders in Arena, and they got really, really upset. So when stuff fucks up PvE, nobody cares, but when it fucks up PvP, that's when Vespa gets off their ass. Though Valence presents all kinds of problems in Arena, but hey, Vespa's just going to ignore that one too. And that was released right at the end of a season. That's, you know, good way to fuck up the placement for everybody right at the end of the season. We'll use it as our last method. We'll make sure to provide more details about the fix of the battle system through our developer notes. Okay, so we've got a couple other developer notes, and we still haven't got more details on what the fuck they think they're going to do to fix the combat system that's going to balance heroes better. Concerns regarding security, creation of multiple accounts, the auction house system. This is more yeah, because people ripped their ass apart about the auction house and people possibly abusing it with multiple accounts. Power 12 constellations. Again, people were like, "Hey, whoa, what the fuck? You're basically obsoleting Soul Weapon." Till now, stronger gear system OP heroes added. Stronger gears introduced to King's Ray. We believe that these factors have been destroying the enjoyment and consistency of the game. From now, we're not planning to take this road anymore. Again, you've been doing this for like several years. It's really hard to think you're gonna walk it back. Power 12 Constellation system, which will be introduced through Season 2, will have different usage than the system of Soul Weapon from Season 1. During Season 2, Soul Weapons will be stronger and effective in some of the content. At the same time, Power 12 Constellation will be stronger in other content. So what they're trying to say here is that Soul Weapons will still be useful. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that. I think they've just kind of realized that a lot of players that have been playing for a while and have made proper investment into Eclipse are, like me here with my fairly large supply of A220s already, and just continuing to get more Ether and Soul Weapons, that this isn't sustainable. That and their big oinky oink pay pigs already have literally everything A220, so they need something else to make money. How they're gonna keep this still so the other stuff's gonna have to be better. They're gonna try to say, sometimes Soul Weapon will be better. I doubt it. I really do. This means the power of the 12 constellations will be weaker than Soul Weapons. We're aiming to bring the balance between these two systems. As we mentioned several times, we're not aiming for numerical strength, but diversity among content. I've heard some rumors on kind of what they're doing with the 12 constellations, that it's going to change the way that some of your skills and effects work on heroes. But I mean, the way the current system works is having a higher attack value just always wins. This is why people go for max rolls for their DPS, because that's really all that matters. And using 2595 or 3x12, not using minus defense plus attack unless you're in arena. And the only reason you're doing that in arena is because you only got 4 heroes and you usually don't have solid supports to make the damage increase perks better. Limited sale for costume customization parts. So they basically want to make costumes like limited. They want to try to scare people into what's the term? It's fear of missing out. FOMO. They want to pressure people into buying costumes and customization parts because they're only going to be sold for a limited time instead of always being for sale. As someone who's just not a big costume person, this doesn't affect me, but it does come off as kind of fucking sleazy to try to use FOMO as a way to push people to buy stuff. So yeah, it just comes off as pretty fucking sleazy to me. 2-star and 4-star hero appearance from Season 1 will be the 2 to 4-star hero appearance from Season 1 remain undeleted from King's Raid. Yes, they won't be deleted from the game. Heroes with 2 to 4-star appearances from Season will not be deleted, and they will remain as costumes within the game. So this is something they mentioned earlier, is that heroes going forward are just going to be T5, and that they're not going to release heroes with T2 or T4 skins anymore. Which is a bit disappointing, because a lot of these aren't yeah, these are some design changes, but I mean, they could have very easily just made palette swaps. Just have this same costume just with different colors for the 2 to 5-star for newer heroes. So that way players had some choice, if they wanted to have their character wear a certain color, if they wanted blue or green or red or something like that. There's things they could have done, but I guess they can also sell that too, which they probably will. Which, not inherently against. Again, it's a matter of give and take. Vespa does need to make their money, of course, but they need to do it in ways that's not sleazy, like FOMO, in my opinion. Don't be that fucking asshole. This is why your game was liked years ago and is less liked now. It's because you weren't sleazy back then. Alright, so that was part 3. And on to part 4. 2 major concerns regarding playing the Little Raiders. First of all, the imprinted stats from Little Raiders were the effects that helped greatly in battles, but lacked connectivity with other content with the game. And then they also had several limitations due to the collaboration of the line pet raiders. Previous development notes were planning to delete all content related to Little Raiders, including the Little Raider House. Before proceeding with the deletion of the content, the sale of the Little Raider production will be discontinued during the update of January 11th. However, Little Raiders that could be obtained as a reward at a low chance to the Guild Conquest or World Boss content will also be removed. We'll also be deactivating the function that we provided through Little Raider House. Please note that players will be able to use items such as Awakening material and tickets for Legendary Little Raiders before the actual deletion of the content. So basically, use up what you can while you can, because once that shit's gone, you're not going to be able to use it anymore. So, you got these essences, better use them up. If you got eggs, I can't pick my eggs from here right now, I guess. Okay, so I have like 60 something eggs, but better use them while you can, because use it or lose it. Activating Little Raider House. Please note the player, and this, again, we're going to lose those rewards. They're going to be moved elsewhere. They don't really cover that or explain it. Please note that players will be able to use items such as Awakening material and tickets for the actual deletion of content. Afterwards, Little Raiders will be available as pets in the game. Players will be able to change around the settings for pets to the main hero option, aka you can go up here and set your Little Raider or whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't like having it follow me around. It's one more thing the game has to render, therefore it's one more thing that can possibly crash the game. So, I had that shit turned off. Not that it helps, as you saw earlier, I still crash. However, they will not be participating in battles. So they backed out of their plan of having them come into fights. Line Pet Raiders will not be able to accompany heroes in battle due to IP contract limits. Oh no, they will be able to accompany through battles and field maps. So they want them to be able to follow you around in battle, but they won't actually do anything. Again, it's one more thing being rendered in the game that just the game doesn't need. This is why people don't like it. It feels like it's not actually doing anything and not help. And considering the game has way bigger problems, aka the crashing problem, people aren't happy about it because it comes off as this is something that's just compiling on an existing problem that we have. Pets will not be obtained anymore with deletion of Little Raider content. As soon as the auction house system is implemented, pets will be only available through purchase through the system. So only in the auction house, which means only people that currently have pets will be able to sell pets. No one new will be able to get pets. I guess this is going to be a FOMO / artificial value to them, but I mean, who the fuck wants to buy them? The pets look fucking stupid. Not be applied to limited edition costumes. This will be applied to limited edition costumes as well. Link imprinted stats to account level. So they talked about this a long time ago that they wanted to make this team level relevant, because after team level 100, you don't really gain a lot. Like your gold bonus, EXP bonus, your max stamina, hard locks in pretty early, and the only real increase you get is just an extra 5,000 gold per team level up until you hit level 200. So the team level did practically nothing for a really long time. So this is what they want to do now, is they want to link the imprinted stat system to your account level. Imprinted stats will be assigned to each of the levels, and players will be able to awaken them gradually with rubies. This is coming off as scummy. So you have to not only level up, you also have to spend your rubies. God forbid you just reward players for like actually playing the game and leveling up their account, because there's a lot of players that are like really strong and everything. They just use dispatch all the time, so their team level doesn't go up, because you have to actually spend stamina like actively, not through dispatch to level up. Though I guess they're probably going to change that too, because people will bitch. The people that use dispatch all the time will complain that they're not level 200 and they can't get the good stats too. For example, if a player reaches level 30 with his or her account, an imprinted stat for each level will appear. The effect will be shown as the Little Raiders 0-star effects. Player decides to awaken the effect. Additionally, he or she will have to consume rubies. As for the amount of rubies that will be consumed, we'll be applying the appropriate value that was used for summoning Little Raiders. In simple words, the awakening cost for imprinted sets will be similar to the cost that will be used to awaken Little Raiders. Imprinted set of line pets, which was not obtained anymore due to IP contract, will be attained with it reaching high account levels. So people that get up to the 200 stats, they will have the opportunity to get those imprinted stats that were limited to line raiders. So a player such as myself who's already level 200 will probably have access to it, is what they're saying here. This is good because the line pets, having that gap that players cannot get past. Oh boy, another crash. Lovely. It is a problem, and it's been the primary complaint. Is when once people figured out that line pets offered a attack increase that was its own fucking layer, separate from all other attack layers, the damage gap between a player who has the line pet that gives attack and those that don't is insurmountable. Like, there's no amount of whaling or investing or getting like a good soul weapon roll that's going to make up for it. They will just do more damage than you. Period. There's nothing you can do to catch up. You don't want to put players in a position where they have no chance to catch up. Fair play means everyone has the opportunity. You made something that not every player had the opportunity because they had to pay real money for it, and then they had to get just the right stat. Specifically, they had to get this bitch with the 3% attack, so they could just do more damage. Also, wow, I can't believe I still don't have that motherfucker. That's funny. Oh, it was that one, and then there was another one. Yeah, so they had an additional 4.5% attack. That was on its own separate layer than all the others. So that was terrible, and that's why people were mad about Little Raiders. It's because you created a pay gap in performance that was insurmountable through in-game play. That's why people were upset. And the fact that you still, like, even through these developer notes, still haven't acknowledged that that was the primary complaint. Be honest. Speak the truth. That was the problem. The fact that you're finally allowing this to be obtained by other players is good. So you are recognizing the problem. You failed to admit it was the problem and the primary complaint, but you're at least fixing it. Which, I mean, I guess second-handedly means you're admitting to it. But you need to be upfront and honest and speak and say, hey, this is the problem that the player base has with this. This was a mistake that we did, and this is what we're going to do to fix it. Instead of just pretending that, oh, well, players just don't like the pets. Or players don't like how the pets are obtained. Fucking weasel wording bullshit. For players that own Little Raiders, imprinted sets of all the Little Raiders you own will be open regardless of the account level. So you'll get the effect without having to pay rubies. So if you already have the pets, and this is also why I'm encouraging players right now, get those eggs open, get as many of the pets and stuff you can now, because if you don't, you're going to be paying a lot of fucking rubies to get those stats. Because I don't think Vespa's going to be cheap. They're going to try to get them fucking rubies out of you. In order to awaken the fact, our players will have to level up account level to the level that has been requested. So you'll still have to level your account up. So those people that don't have account level 200, they're going to have to start doing some work. As to the rework, a Little Raider content we mentioned above, we're planning to implement these changes during the second update in January or the first update in February. We'll continue to provide more So Starting January 11th, the pets aren't going away, neither is the pet house. But they're going to stop selling pets, so you're not going to be able to do the summons, I think, for them anymore. So this is going to go away. So that's fine. Plan to implement these changes during the second update, so we're not going to see this until the 25th. January 25th or February 8th is when they're going to finally be gone. So you have some time left still to take advantage of it, but not for very long. Continue to provide more details. Thank all players. So, alright, so we've gone through everything we've done for the developer notes thus far. Again, like, reading this all at once, you should have noticed that from like the first developer note to the fourth one, they've walked back and changed what they said they're doing. Which means one of two things. They don't know what the fuck they were doing in the first place, or they're actually taking players' feedback on stuff. Some of it does appear to be that they're taking players' feedback. Like, because initially they said they were wanting to make changes to the pets, people started complaining about the pets again, and then Vespa realized, okay, we're not winning this battle, we need to get rid of the pets. And then they, in the second note said, okay, we're going to delete pets. So, and I think a lot of that just came from just the overwhelming amount of feedback on the first developer note saying, pets suck dick. It's the worst, one of the worst things they added to the fucking game. Okay, other than Soul Weapon was pretty fucking bad, dude. Jesus Christ. Alright, so, after reading all those, put together some of my final thoughts. So they want to avoid nerfing heroes, but they are open to nerfing heroes again, which means no nerf policy is effectively gone. Nerfs will be on the table again, but they're going to be really reluctant and really pussy about doing it, which is unfortunate, but we'll see. Their claim is that they're going to make changes to the way the game balance works, specifically the stat and skill system, that is going to better balance the heroes between each other. I doubt this is going to work the way they think it's going to work. I just really, really doubt it. I don't think they know what they're doing. If they were really serious about balancing heroes and content, they wouldn't be making challenge raid that's pretty much only clearable by Gremory 99% of the time. I know there's like a Hannes clear out there, and I've heard there's a Mitra clear for 62-250. But it's pretty much nothing but Gremories clearing this. So if they're really serious about balancing content, or balancing heroes, they need to make sure that content is not balanced around only one hero. Right now, challenge rate is very much clearly balanced around Gremory's existence. So until they stop doing that, I don't believe them that they're going to successfully balance the heroes through this new method. We're no longer going to get hero balance patches, so you're not going to see like 2 or 3 heroes get buffed to being usable again. So all those heroes who didn't get a buff in the last year, sucks to be you. You get to be in the shitter for another year at least, or at least 6 months roughly, supposedly, when KR2 is coming, assuming it's not fucking pushed back more. We're gonna lose a lot of rewards unless they start moving those rewards to other places. We're losing several of our dailies. This is basically going to go away because this is kind of only a limited time thing. Stockade Vault's going away, so we're not getting Ruby Flask anymore. Tower Challenges is going away, so we're not getting Artifact Frags anymore. Blue Summons going away, we're not getting Artifact Frags and Stamina from Blue Summons for those that are abusing it. We're losing the Heroes End, so we're not getting roulette items anymore. Possibly not being able to buy stuff from Juno anymore. Losing little raiders, so we're losing out extra potions every day, plus the pet gifts every day, so we're losing that. No more tower challenge also means no more skip tickets, unless, again, it's got to be moved somewhere else. What content's left? Let's really think about this. Like, what content is left? Like, Techno Magic Raid, okay, so that's going to still be here, but here's the thing. So, like, we know there's going to be new gear, so this is going to be dead content just like Dragon Raid's dead content now, and Field Raid's dead content, because TM supersedes it. This new gear is going to supersede TM Raid gear, therefore this content's going to be dead, so... TM Raid, 6 months, and this is useless. Techno Magic Enchant, unless these enchants work on new gear, then this is dead too. So great. One of the only contents that was added in the last year is going to be obsolete. So great. Good job, I guess. Arena will still exist because Arena is just stupid. This is gone. So Tower Challenge is gone. World Boss is going to still be here. So only 2 for 2 so far. Challenge Raid will still be around. Temple of the God King, so this is where you do like Eclipse and Soul Weapons and stuff like that. Well, they kind of already said Soul Weapon's going to be replaced, so it's going to be sometimes better in some kind. No, it's not. Other stuff's going to... This new thing's going to fucking obsolete it. Otherwise, there's no reason for people to build Soul Weapon. So this is on a ticking time bomb as well. This is going to be obsolete and or dead. Same with Eclipse. So that's 2 more pieces of content. So all trials are dead. Eclipse is going to be dead in 6 months. Shackmay, amazingly, is actually going to be still relevant because you can actually get unique weapon UT frags, and that's actually apparently going to be one of the only things still important carrying over. Because it's the only thing that isn't getting replaced is your unique weapons and unique treasures. So you can still use this to farm that, and then also the artifacts that Shackmay gets. So that content's still in. So these are out. That's in. That stays in. This is just going to exist here. So far we're 5 for 8 because Techno Magic Raid, TM, Tower Challenge are basically out. Or that was Trials. Eclipse is out. Divine Punishment Raid will still be relevant. Little Raiders is dead, being removed. Balance's Shop's going to basically be obsolete because once TM gear's gone or no longer or gets power crept and or replaced, Balance's Shop will also be basically fucking useless. Just like nobody uses Jin Shop to buy D8 gear anymore, etc. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these are going to be fucking useless. Repositorium will still be around, even though it's going to be half fucking useless because some of the stuff that's going to give just isn't going to be useful anymore, like the upgrades or the TM upgrade stones, the soul weapon drops, the mystic frags. Will all be useless. The unique weapon, unique gear tickets will still be useful. Actually, what else? Oh, I have to look at this. So that'll be useless. Still useful. Still useful. Still useful. Useless. 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 Useless and useless. So literally only the goblin is going to be fucking useful in a future patch, so we'll count that as a half fucking deleted. I mean, the repo change itself was not good. Chapter stage, this is just your story progress, and then well, actually, this is going to lose usefulness because now you won't be able to abuse farming stages for gold to do blue summons, so this is actually going to lose a lot of usefulness because there's not much other reason to touch chapters. Other than some gold farming, I guess. These are all gone. Oh, Dragon Raid hard mode will be gone. Field Raid will still be around, but it's basically fucking dead because it's going to be 2 levels removed from the best equipment. Behind TM and then the Season 2 gear, so that's fucking dead. We'll count this as a half because it'll still technically be here and for newer player progression, I guess. Honestly, actually, no, because with Season 2, if we're able to just earn Season 2 gear starting at level 90, this is just dead. So yeah, this is all dead. So Raid's dead, Hall of Heroes is basically dead because there won't be Awakening or doing the heroes anymore. So 1, 2, we will memory archive, sub-story, whatever. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these are going to be completely dead in 6 months. Or did I miss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5, 8.5. There's only 20 things here. 8.5 of the 20 is going to be fucking dead content. You guys already complained there isn't anything to do in King's Raid. They're removing half the content. This doesn't even include fucking Underground Lab, because Underground Lab doesn't even get a fucking icon over here. You have to fucking go to Orville Castle to even see it. So that's going to be gone too. So I guess Loman will still have his shop. So Underground, so Technomagic Raid, Tower Challenge, Temple of the God King, Eclipse, Little Raider House, Valence's Workshop, Raids, Underground Lab, yeah, just all gone. So the only things to do in King's Raid will be Arena, Challenge Raid, which is only once every 2 weeks, World Boss, and Shackmade, the content you can't play once, or you only get to play once every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on if you buy the extra tokens for it. Oh man, you guys think this game's dead now? Fuck. Just lose all the fucking content. You guys are praising it. That's the part that weirds me out, is you guys seem like, oh, this is a good thing they're getting rid of all this. What is there going to be to do? Oh boy. Alright. I think this video's gone on long enough. How long are we at here? Hour and 41 minutes. Woo! Alright, I'm going to give my voice some rest here. It's been good going over this. I hope Vespa sees this and considers some of the things I said. You guys tend to only listen to a bunch of fucking idiots, but maybe you can listen to this idiot for once. And I hope those that stuck through and listened to all this, I hope you guys take some of the things I said as a little bit of warning and a little bit of, you know, not looking at things too hopeful or with rose-tinted glasses. Like this may not be the rebirth of the game that you guys seem to be acting like it is. So try to take things with a little bit of grain of salt. Thanks for joining.